Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome to another video. My name's Chad. I got my buddy Steph here from mailframe.com helping me out with this one. We're going to go over some more cars. In a previous video, we were introducing the concept of cars specific to hips. This video will tackle our cars specific to shoulders. So of course, just to reiterate, our cars are controlled articular rotations, which is a fancy way of saying we're doing some joint circles. The intention here is to trace the circle as wide as we can, as slowly and as controlled as we can. So we're going to start from a kneeling position with this one. And I'm going to have Steph keep his opposite hand to his ribs. Now, the palm to the ribs is going to give you a little bit of tactile feedback to let you know when the spine starts to become overly expressive. So generally, when we're trying to articulate the shoulders, there's a tendency for the spine to try and help out. So we want to prevent that joint coupling. So as he takes his arm forward and up, he starts to come into his overhead flexion. Now the tendency here is if there's a lack of overhead range in the shoulder, at a certain point the spine is going to want to extend, the back is going to want to arch. So using that hand, if you feel the ribs push into your hand, you want to keep the ribs down and in, and this is going to scoop the tailbone under as well. So as you can see, he's maintaining more of a flat back, more of a neutral spine here. So you're going to come into that overhead range as far as you can go. Once you can't go any further, you're going to begin to axially rotate the shoulder. So in other words, you're going to begin to rotate that arm, palm, and elbow away from the body. So you want to make sure that as you're rotating, you want to think about rotating from the elbow, because the elbow is connected to that upper arm bone, which is connected directly to the shoulder. So if we think about rotating from the elbow, we can be sure that we're going to feel it in the shoulder. So as he's tracing his circle, he wants to continually spiral that arm, thumb downward. And he's trying to move within the same plane of motion. Yeah. So as he's tracing his circle, he's also trying to reach behind him as far as he can. So when you complete your rotation, the back of the hand should be facing towards you. So it's going to look a little something like that. And then we're going to reverse our movement from there. So as you start to reach back and up, the tendency here will be for the chest to come forward and the spine to round forward. So we want to make sure that we can correct those compensations when we start to notice them creeping in. So you want to pause your movement, correct the compensation, and then continue. So as you start to target that shoulder extension, once you can't go any further, once you find your limit, you're going to start to rotate thumb up as you bring that arm back overhead. In an overhead, there's also a tendency for the shoulder blade to hike up. So we want to keep the shoulder blade depressed. Again, we want to keep the spine neutral as we trace our circle. When you're doing these, you want to try to do 2 or 3 in each direction. And you just want to take your time with it, be patient with your body, and really try to be aware of how your body in particular likes to compensate and where you start to notice joint coupling. So give that a whirl and check back in with us, because there's also ways that you can increase the difficulty of these cars where you can place physical constraints on the body. We'll get into that in the next one. High fives and good vibes. Have a good one.